Welcome to Coding with Nathan. Today we're going to build something very valuable, a personal finance dashboard with budget tracking and visual reports in Python. This is an intermediate level project and a direct upgrade from our earlier expense tracker. Instead of just logging expenses, we'll create a full dashboard with charts, monthly summaries, budgets, alerts, and beautiful visualizations. This is the kind of tool people actually use every month to get control of their money. So let's build it. All right, so first of all, here's what we're going to build. Today we are not going to build the charts, but we're going to build everything else, and we will expand into charts in a later tutorial, as this one will take up a lot of time. But this is our expense tracker. We're going to add an expense. We're going to call it $33. We're going to categorize it as books. The description is going to be programming book. It's an expense. We're going to add a transaction. Add another one. We're going to say we got $3 of income. Category is selling stuff. Guess we sold that book back. Book. All right. All right. So now we have added an income and expense. So here are our transactions. Here we can change our budget, change this to $1,500. Right, and here now have our budget. We have $33 of expenses that we spent. We have $14.67 remaining in our budget, and we only have $3 worth of income. All right, so that is what we're going to build. We'll be right back to start coding. First, you will have to do an installation of a new library that we are using. So first there'll be a video on that. All right, for this project we need a new install. So what you need to do is do this command right here using your path to your Python. It's -m pip install matplotlib. That's what we are using today. Just hit this. It will go out and install this for you. All right, now let's see if this runs. We are ready to code, and we have pre-done our file with some of the typing that doesn't make any sense, but we will go over it with you now. And as always, the complete code is available on our GitHub, which is linked in the description and pinned in a comment. So check that out so you don't have to type. All right, so first, as for imports, we are going to do the TK interface. We're going to use the message box. We're going to use the CSV files. We need the date time functions, the OS to do files, and our collections, which we will use default dictionary. We have predefined our colors, so they are easily changeable in one spot if you don't like them. We have defined our class as finance dashboard. We have set up our initialization, where first thing we do is initialize TK interface, give it a title, give it a size, set the background color. We then set up a variable for our file name, set up a default budget to start with. We initialize the transactions, we create our widgets, we load our transactions, and we update our dashboard. All right, so first thing we do is we create our widgets. This is where we set up our TK interface window, and is a lot of typing. So we have a title label, and then we set up a notebook. Set up labels in the notebook, and then we start adding things to it. So what we do is we add tabs. We're going to have a dashboard tab. This is the first tab that you see. And on there, we will have a button to refresh it. All right, then we are going to add another tab to add a transaction. And inside of that, we will have to have all the entry fields for our transaction. So we will take in the amount, we will take in the type, which we will get from radio buttons. We will take in a description, and then we will add the transaction, have an add the transaction button. All right, after that, we have a tab to view the transactions. To that, we add a tree view so that we can display them all. We add some headings, date, type, category, amount, description. And we add in the columns. And then we add a tab for setting our budget. There, we just have a simple entry field for our dollar amount and a button to save it. All right, that is all our pre-code. We also have our default running of our class and the default running of the file that instantiates our class and then calls the run function, which does this. All right, so we are ready to insert the code that makes it all work. First thing we need to add is a function to load our transactions from our file if there were any. Call this load transactions. Oh. We are gonna initialize the variable back to none. We have to check the file exists. Does exist. We're going to try to load it. Read in the name of the file. We're opening it for read. Coding. Alias sad is F. Here. Yes. Okay, reading the CSV file. F. All right. We need to handle the exception. Any exceptions? Do that by getting rid of everything. All right, there we go. Very simple, straightforward. All right, then we also have to save them out. Check file exists with file name. File name, it would be the file. All right. Open self.data file. We're going to append. And this one did time. Equals. Okay. CSV dict writer. F date type description. Okay. Not this. Right. So it's the first row, we got to put in a header. Now we just write the data. And that is that. 2 functions down. Then add the transaction. Try out. Get, so we're getting user entered. Trying to convert it to a float. Type. Get. Okay, so we get whether it's an income or an expense. Get the category. Entry. Get. Strip off any extra spaces at the end of that. Description. Description entry. We're going to do the same thing here. Off characters. If not category or not description, say we don't like this. Warning. Info to description are required. All right. And we return. Right. If we have all of that, and action, date, date time, now, add it. Okay. To string. Finally, the description is description. All right. Then save the transaction. Okay. And of course, we need to spell it correctly up here. Really? Did it wrong again. All right. Now it's all happy. All right, now we append it to what we have in memory. Say that we added it successfully. All right. And we need to clear the fields. Okay, self that amount, entry, delete, 0, comma, okay, self. update the dashboard. Right. Step 2, which is accept where this is if the amount is bad. Put up a message box. All right, another function off our list of things to do. Next, we are going to save our budget. All right, wrap this in a try. Budget. Get the input. All right. The success. And let the budget update it to budget. Format it a little. That should be it. Okay. Self-update dashboard. And we have our accept, it's not valid. Error. Message box. Error. Error. Please enter a valid budget amount. All right. There we go. Function done. Dashboard. Okay. All right. All there is to that. Go to show summary. Spell this correctly. Some That's supposed to be on this. All right, that seems right. Total expense is going to be similar. Budget. After that, text equals F. Income. And is all right. Summary. Put it in the label. All right. Another function done. Preview. Function. Self free get children meet. Okay. Last function we're on. Actions. Get rid of the old ones. We add in the new ones. And now it lights everything. All right, that is it. All right, so we have a fairly simple error here. It's we transaction. I think that's it. All right, let's try running now. We just had a spelling error. Refresh. Did we spell this wrong too? Refresh. Error. Description. Description. All right. More debugging coming, and there we are up. We can see it loaded in our values that we had. So let us add another transaction for $44. This is going to be a dress. We'll call it food. McDonald's. Add that transaction in. Add an income of $12. For the food. Add that in. All right. We'll then view our transactions. See this stuff here. Let's check our budget setting. We will go to 1,000. Go back to the dashboard. We now have $15 worth of income, $77 worth of expenses, and a remaining of 923. Looks like we should fix this capital R here. Okay, remaining right here. Should be capital R. And now we got that fixed. All right, so there's lots of things you can add to this, and we will be adding charts if we get enough interest. But you can export it as a PDF. You can include income versus expense trendline charts, add multiple budget categories with limits, create light and dark mode toggles, and add predictive spending alerts. And that's it. You now have your own personal finance dashboard with visual reports. This is one of the most practical projects you can build. You can use it yourself, and it looks impressive in any portfolio. You've learned how to combine data handling, visualization, and GUI design into one useful application. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more practical Python projects. Let us know what you'd like to see next. And also remember, you can get the complete source code from our GitHub, which is in the description and pinned in a comment. We'll see you next time.